Hello everybody and welcome to a spooky months, plural, video. Today I'm going to be going over how to make your game feel scary. Now then, let's set the scene. You're in a forest. Daylight trickles through the branches of the trees, casting a warm green glow. Animal sounds sound off around you. It's calm, peaceful even. You travel deeper. Clouds slowly start to roll in as the forest becomes quieter, the animal sounds dropping off one by one. A twig snaps, and the forest falls silent. Slowly, without your notice, a fog has rolled in. The only sounds you hear are your footsteps, muffled by the thick soil beneath your feet. Another twig snaps, closer this time. You begin to run. You run, the only sound you can hear is your rapid heartbeat pounding in your ears. You trip, heart stuttering, and the bushes you had just torn through rustle. A fox bursts from the foliage, and you laugh. All this nonsense over a little fox. You roll over, eyes following the fox as it vanishes through the undergrowth, not even pausing to look at you. The forest lightens as you slowly stand, using the tree that tripped you. Frost creeps up your fingertips and you yelp, stumbling back from the tree. The twig snaps behind you, silence again, before you hear breathing right in your ear. Slowly, you turn, only to be swallowed by darkness. You wake in a house in the woods, unsure how you got there, and with no direction to go, but bored. Okay, now that I'm done having fun with that, let's break that down. I started, and you would want to start by establishing a normal, a safe, a calm. It doesn't have to be perfectly safe. And in this situation, a lot of times I'm going to be referencing kind of supernatural or things outside of the person. Like I've been watching a playthrough of the new Silent Hill game, and her normal isn't necessarily safe. It's her arguing with her mom and her dad, and that is her normal. And she runs into town all angry. This happens all the time. This is normal. There's nothing weird about it. And then it introduces the Silent Hill part of it. So you start by establishing that. Then you raise the stakes. It can always get worse. That game does it very well. If you're looking for a way and inspiration, I highly recommend playing or watching a playthrough of that game. I haven't finished watching it yet, but it's good. It's very, very graphic, but it's good. Sound is your best friend. Go and watch literally any horror game or movie you enjoy and turn the sound off. Aside from maybe a jump scare, which, let's be real, is very low-hanging fruit, most of the scare factor just goes away. Speaking of sound, let's add some into our game. So we're kind of going for, as you can see here on the screen, I've already built the map. If you guys want a speed map of this, I can release it. I recorded it. It's really short, so I wasn't sure if I was going to use it or not. So we want to add a spooky ambiance around with randomly occurring shrieks and sounds and just kind of stuff in the background. So let's go do that. All right, I went and perused the internet and made some of my own, as I maybe showed you. So let's add them to the game. So I did go through not that one, the default audio sounds, and I came up with this one that was kind of spooky. So I'm going to have that playing in the background. Set this to parallel and then erase it. Okay. So now I want there to be kind of a random spooky noise that plays in the background. So let's first pull up, I saved them under background sounds. Here we go. Which is a mistake. I should have saved them under sound effects, because I don't want them to loop. I just want them to play once. Here. There we go. Okay, now let's open sound effects. So that should be under elements, spooky. Here we go. So here's the first sound. which I got from Free Sounds. I'll leave the link to that one in the description, and then this one I made. Okay. So I know I want this to randomly run. Like, and I want this to be 100% completely random. So let's see. This one I don't want to run very often. So let's pull up a variable. Let's say, call this random num1. Okay, and it is going to be between a random number between 1 and 5. Right, and then let's add a conditional. If random number 1 equals 5, then it plays the sound. Else, it doesn't, and it will jump to the label top. So let's add in a new label up here. And then let's have this down here too. And now let's actually add in a wait. Let's actually have 5 frames. Just so if the sound's playing, it doesn't kill it. Okay. Now there's that random sound, and I want this sound to play slightly even less often. So let's increase this to 10. And yeah, same thing. I just copied pasted it. However, I want this to run on a different one. So let's go add in random number 2. So they're not running on top of each other. That should update that. There we go. Okay. So now let's... Actually, I want to turn down the volume on this one. So it's just barely heard in the background. Okay. Now let's go in and play it. I really need to get rid of that. Okay. The sounds are playing near constantly. So that means I want to go in and increase this. Let's go 120. Actually, let's go 300, just to be safe. Because I don't want these to play too often, so it's better to err on the side of less often than I want to than more often than I want to. Now, these are both sound effects, so only one of them can be playing at a time. So in order to get around that, let's copy these, then go into music effects. Oh, it loaded. Let's add these in here. So let's actually go into here, not into there, sorry, go into here and have play this one. There. So now they can play at the same time, which you may or may not want. Okay, new game. Okay, the tapping's playing. And then silence. Because this is technically random, we could be waiting here forever. So I'm going to fast forward until the next sound plays. And we waited forevermore. No, yeah, it should be looping. Why isn't it looping? Top. Okay, here. Let's try this. Okay, and let's do the same thing to this guy. Let's try this again. Oops. Okay, there's the tapping. And there's the tapping again. Okay, so yeah. I'd probably want to decrease that even more, but for testing purposes, it works. All right. on to the next thing, which I have simply titled, and picture the SpongeBob imagination meme here, "The unknown is scary." So now that we can hear what goes bump in the night, next we need to see it, right? Well, not necessarily. The unknown is one of the scariest things that anyone can face. Now, if you do all this build up and the creature never shows or is a joke, then it'll kind of turn your player away from the game and your entire premise and will probably make them a little mad, unless, of course, you're making a spoof or a joke game, and that is clear from the beginning. So now let's make a monster. This map is pretty wide open. There's a lot of open space. So you can pretty much see everything. Now, mind you, I forgot to turn this off. This was from testing. Let's turn this off and then let's go into the game. So you can kind of see more what I'm talking about. I really need to turn that off. Okay, yeah. Cool, spooky noises are playing. I'm holding control so I can walk through everything, by the way, currently. So ignore it. It looks like I didn't set anything. I did. I'm just holding control, so it doesn't really work. You can see like everything around the player. It's not really that spooky. You're just walking through kind of a darker forest. Like, it's not that spooky. And we want those spooky vibes. So it also makes it pretty hard to hide things, so the player maybe doesn't see it at the edge of the screen. So we're gonna re-add this vignette. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. So a vignette, yeah, let me pull it up. It's just something that darkens around the edges of the screen. At least that's how I'm doing it. I just used a gradient effect on GIMP and added it in here. I have two different ones, one for inside the house where we start, and then one that appears right here, which is the black at the edges isn't quite as dark, so you can see a tiny little bit more, because while you're in the house you wouldn't be able to see outside, and that's kind of why it's like that. And of course you can mess around with it, do what you want to do and what best fits your game. But since I've already made mine and added those in, now let's see what it looks like in game again now that we're focusing on it. Oh my goodness. I will turn that off eventually. All right. See, it's pretty, like you can see kind of the edge, but you can't really see far behind that. Okay, now let's go outside. You'll see, you can kind of see the edge over here is just a lot darker, so it adds more to the mystery of it. It's like, ooh, what's out there? What can't I see? Right? Now, we have to actually have something hiding in that darkness, otherwise what's the point of the darkness, right? I am going to be using a pre-made sprite for this because I'm lazy and I really like XP tiles. I will also add, by the way, I'm using XP tiles for this. I do own a copy of XP, which is why I can use these tiles. I'll leave a link to the ones that I downloaded that were scaled up for they were scaled up for MV, I believe, but I'm just using them in MZ because I can. So anyways, let's see which guy I want to use. I haven't looked through these in a really long time, so we shall see. Oh, okay, there's the angels. Dog, cat, goat. That could be interesting, but not really what I'm... Oh my gosh, okay. He's not very spooky. He could be spooky. Okay, let's have him for now and then keep scrolling and see if we find something better. A baby. Okay, he's darker, so I feel like he'd kind of blend into the environment more. So let's actually switch to him. Be here, where have you buried all your children? Tell me so I say. Okay. Ooh. This is a more classic RPG. Oh, hold on. An orc, what are you? A goblin? Is that that's what they're describing you as? Okay. I think I'm probably gonna stick with the one I have. Go kind of a hellhound vibe. Yeah, okay, we're sticking with it. There's too many of these to go through. All right, so we have the monster. And now we need to have this guy appear and disappear randomly at the edge of the player's vision. So let's add that in. So here, let's just have him appear. And I want him on a switch, just so we make sure that he is not visible. So let's go monster C. Okay, so now since that switch isn't triggered by default, he will not show up. So let's add the event that sets the monster somewhere around the player. Which actually I want to have him set to through. That is very important. Okay, let's call this one Monster C2 just to keep track of it, other than what was this? This was called Event 8. Very hyper specific, I know. Now you'll notice that we're starting to amass quite a bit of parallel events on this map. You can consolidate these into one. I just like keeping them separate because my computer can handle it, but we're gonna need to get some variables for the story. So first, let's see. Map ID, player X, and player Y. Okay. And we need the region too. Region ID. Okay. Actually, we need 2 of these. Player, and then region ID 1. Okay. Let's actually go with map ID, which is game data map ID. Okay. I'm probably going to turn this into a common event eventually, but we need these guys. Okay. So I don't want the monster to be able to appear inside the house. The house is supposed to be kind of a safe zone, so it can't appear in there. So let's just go a little higher just because I prefer that. So the monster can't appear in here. Don't want the monster to appear on unwalkable tiles. So let's just go through and mark out all the places I don't want the monster to appear. Okay, so now I have marked out the areas in which I don't want our little monster friend to appear. All right, now let's make the system do some math. We don't actually need to get the map ID for this, but it does not matter. So first, let's set this to, oh boy, let's see if I remember how to do this. It's character, here we go, map X. You want the map X, not the screen X for this one. So you get player map X, and then we want player map Y, which is just the X and Y, oh my gosh, variable of the player. Okay, so this, and we don't need to get the region ID of the player actually for this. But we do need to do the math first. Okay. Here, let me add in a comment just to split this up. Math time. Okay. Then we need to set a monster X and a monster Y. So monster X is going to, first we want to set it to a number. So let's just do 2. Actually, how far away do we want this to be from the player? Let's do 4. And then do the same thing with Y. Okay. And then we need to take the, actually let's put these above math time. Okay, now we need to take monster number X, add it to player X, and then do the same thing with Y. And then set event location. I really needed to name that event. Hold on. This is why we name our events, kids. Okay. And then we need to set event location, monster, designation with variables, monster X, monster Y. Good. Okay, now we need to tell if the monster is allowed to be there. So, can he sit? And if it does not equal 46, then we're good. So if variable monster region ID spawn does not equal 46, then we're good. Then else it will jump. Okay. Now we need to call a variable, set it to game data. I forget how to do this. There's a specific way to do this. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My brain. I promise I have a brain between my ears. I really promise I do. It just doesn't work. Okay. Monster spawn. Region ID. Designation by character. Monster. There we go. Oh my gosh. That took me way too long to work out in my head. Okay. So if it does not, then we turn on control switches, monster C on, else we're going to try it again. Jump to label here. I label stuff really randomly. Here. There we go. Okay. Now if monster C is on, then we want to control self switch A and have a self switch. Make sure it's also set to parallel. Then however long you want the monster to appear. Let's see. I want it to be there for a while just so we can test and prove this works. And you would probably want this set to a shorter amount. Okay, let's try it. Ah, crap, I forgot. Okay, no, I'm not dealing with that. I'm done with it. I'm tired of it. Go away. Thank you. Now, I realized something important. I did not add a weight in here. Okay, there. Now it won't glitch. Now let's try this. And sweet, blissful silence. Okay, let's actually leave. Okay. Now let's stand here and see. Oh, look, he appeared down here. Now you probably want this to be a very brief appearance, right? And he's appearing near constantly, which we don't want him to do that. Because that kind of gets rid of the spook factor, right? So that is kind of creepy. It's also very late at night. So let's add in another random variable generator. Same thing we did before. Let's just go random 3. And 1 in, let's just go 10. New conditional branch, variable, random number. 3 equals, let's just go smack dab in the middle. 3, then I wanted to do all of this. Else, I wanted to jump to a different label. I was going to put Bazinga, but I realized I don't know how to spell that. Let's do 46. And jump to label 46. Did I put a jump to label up here? Listen. Okay. And then let's add a weight. Okay, and let's decrease that slightly. But only slightly. I actually really liked its duration. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, first let's leave the house. Okay, there's the monster there in the corner. Okay. It's just chilling there. Something. Oh, no, it went away. I see. I forgot a very important step. Making the monster go away. So we want to actually go in here. Once that, oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Once that timer is off, we want to turn this switch off. That should fix that problem. Still appearing a little more than I would like. Okay, he's there. And lingering for a little longer. Okay, now you see him actually like pop in and out. So yeah, I want to increase that random number by a great amount because he is appearing far too often for my liking. Okay. Let's go 30. Okay. And actually I wanted to decrease this. 150. You know what? Actually, 100. Okay. Okay. There he is. He really likes appearing there. He's always gonna, oh my gosh. I never claimed to be good at math. Okay, I want 4 to 6. This should help make his appearances a little more random. And then I see. Then actually add a 400 there. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, let's leave the house. Okay, I'm not seeing him. Are you guys seeing him? Oh, wait, I think I saw him briefly. It was down in the lower right corner. Okay, let's move. Oh, yes, there he was. Okay, good. So he's appearing a lot less often. Oh, yeah, there he is down there. Okay, good. I say we can call that one a success. But also, because I'm extra, we're doing that. Actually, let's have that after the monster appears, because maybe the movement will draw the player's eye. Okay, we're done. I'm calling it a day. I'm not poking it anymore. That part is done. All right. So, you know, now we have a couple things to set the player on edge, to make them kind of a little spoof, like, oh, what's hanging around the next corner? However, now we have to add a reason to keep the player moving. I mean, sure, one doesn't want to go, well, generalized statement, some of you might, but one typically does not want to go hang out in a spooky forest that you randomly got teleported to by a monster that was chasing you through the woods. But, you know, if the forest does nothing more than set you on edge, well, the stakes lower. And the player can relax. And maybe the player spends too long on the map, the monster shows up. Or maybe they have a sanity meter that slowly drains the longer they stay out in the dark. And once it hits 0, they die. Or, you know, why not both? Because I like to torture myself and my players. All right. I'm gesturing with my hands once again, like you can see them. And there are plenty of plugins that can make this a lot easier. However, I like to torture myself. I don't know why my voice is getting so high. I'm choosing these colors, or these numbers by color, by the way. And I really like the way yellow and purple look together. It reminds me of Rapunzel. So at game start, we need to set your sanity. K. Hey Siri. What is 100 divided by 4? Oh my gosh, I freaking knew that. What's 50 plus 25? Listen, I was an English major, not a math one. I also knew that. Freaking quarter. Think of quarters. Cut that out. Haven't arted the bar yet. Why do I keep hearing breathing noises in the background? I don't know if you guys can hear it on the microphone, but I can just hear faint sounds of breathing in the background, and I don't think it's me. Okay, now that I say that, it's gonna completely go away. Fine, whatever. Pretty sure my house is haunted. Okay. Really wonky mouse-drawn hearts. Okay. Oh my goodness. Can I use a dash? I can. I can't. The thrilling life. Why didn't it show up? The heck is going on here? Yeah, okay. Why aren't you showing you? Why did it go up? Oh my gosh. I am an idiot. A really tired idiot. Okay. Yes, it can. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Sorry, my brain is not functioning. This is going to be a very long video. I am so sorry. All right. So I did a little work off screen because I was getting... My brain power does not function when I'm recording. It only works off screen. So now I shall show you the fully functioning sanity system and monster that appears and chases you after you've been out on the map for a long enough time. All right, so first, the sanity system. You'll see the corner down here, we have these 4 yellow hearts, right? And as soon as we leave, you'll notice the timer starts. I'll get into that sec. Oh, a heart went down. Oh no, my sanity is decreasing. That's just for testing purposes. Oh no, let's go back into the safe area. Oh good, my sanity is going back up. All right, I also got this item, which is an armor, which makes a lantern, which makes you feel better about the dark. So let's equip that. And when we go out, oh wow, our sanity level is not decreasing. That actually got me a little monster appearing. But yeah, that's how the lantern works. Now the monster works is that if you're chilling on the map for too long, not progressing or doing anything, it will appear and chase you. As you can see by the very visual timer, I am not using a plugin to have a timer running in the background. Use a plugin. And you probably, depending on how big your maps are, might want to have it set to more or less than a minute. It depends, and you might want to have your monster be fight offable. Mine isn't. It just ends in a game over if it touches you. Anyways, it's gonna appear in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The monster is now active. Somewhere. Should be chasing after me. Where the heck is it? Oh, there it is. It's it's caught on some terrain. Come here, bud. Come here. I'll help you out. There you go. What are the odds of that happening? Oh my gosh. That was a bug I did not encounter when I was testing it. I know how to fix it. Just let me walk through what I have currently. So for the sanity, it is these 3 events up here. And yes, it is 3 events. This is the tree that I was struggling with so much, which shows you pictures for how much sanity you have left. I used quarters. You could do this in other ways or use a plugin or other ways. Here, this is what tests if you decrease the sanity or not. If you have the lantern equipped, then the only thing it'll affect is if you're in a safe zone and it will build up your sanity. Otherwise, if you don't have a lantern equipped or whatever item you're having salve off being afraid, then in a safe area, which is 46, your sanity increases by 10 until your sanity equals 100. Then it caps it. Then when you're in the extra dangerous areas, it decreases by 10. And when you're in the just slightly scary areas, it decreases by 5. And I have it going through every 60 frames, so it doesn't just drain your sanity instantaneously. Here is if, yeah. I need to label things more. Here is if your sanity equals 0, then it's game over. And blah. It just loops through this. This isn't necessary, but I like having it because it makes me feel more organized. And there's literally nothing special about the lantern. It's just an accessory you can equip. But yep, that's how the sanity works. Then the monster, which is all these 3 again. Over here, the way you would have to have them set to tilt, that's literally how you fix it. You have it so he can walk through things. Now, if you don't have a ghost, you might not want to have it able to walk through things. In which case, I said earlier in the video that I did the X's and O's on this tile set. I did not. It is a copy paste of the original outdoor tile set, so everything's really wonky, which is why the monster was getting caught on random. I'm sorry, I'm tired. But yeah, that's how you would fix that issue. You'll notice, not this one. On this one, this is a very similar setup to the sanity one. But that is because if the player goes into a safe area, the monster can no longer chase them. So it has to turn everything off. But otherwise, if it's in either of these region IDs, then it works as normal. Here we have the monster, which literally as soon as the switch comes on, it chases after the player. When event touch, it is game over. Here is where most of the magic happens. If Time's Up is on, it does nothing, but if it isn't, and this is, if your time runs out, there's more events to this. I lied, there's more than 3. But if timer, I do 1 because it can get glitchy if you don't do 1. So I just do 1 second. So technically, yes, I'm cheating my players out of a single second, but, you can fix that just having the timer set to 1 minute, 1 second, and then it doesn't matter. But anyways, you turn this right here, this switch on, have a label at the top. Then it runs through everything else that it did with, with the monster that randomly appears on the map. This is literally copy and pasted from that. Except for I increased these numbers so it appears slightly farther away from the player, so it gives you a chance to run. And then if it can't spawn, then it just runs through it again until it finds a spot to spawn, and then it just loops. These guys, hold on. And this is spooky sounds. I swear. No, that's much of that. Maybe that is it for that. Huh. No, yeah, that is it for that. Yeah, sorry, that is how those 2 work. Feel free to go back and pause any moment in time if you need to see those in more detail, or if you have any questions, leave them down below. That took me entirely too long to figure out, so let's move on. Great. Now there are risks, there's consequences, now that we scare the player, and that's great, but there is really no purpose in this game, like, except for hide in the cabin, cottage, house thing. Like, why would I ever leave? I'm just gonna chill here and slowly starve to death, right? Except for that's not really going to be going through your player's head. There has to be a reason for them to venture out, to keep going, to push beyond. And because I have said I am very tired and I don't want to overcomplicate things by making way too many maps, let's have it all occur on this map. So I'm tired of looking at these stupid region. Go away. That is so much better. Okay, so let's say in order to chase away the monster and get back home, we have to light this fireplace. So in order to light this fireplace, we have to chase... Actually, I know what I want. If I can find it. On this one? Sure, why the heck not? This guy. Okay, we have to go around the map and collect... Let's do 4 of these guys. You have to go around the map, collect 4 of these guys, and then it will light the fireplace. My goodness. Okay. So same as character action button, and literally all you have to do, control variable, add 1 to crystal. Yeah, I'm just calling it crystal. Add 1. And then control self switch A. Move it. Self switch A. Okay. Let's add 1 over here. Control C, Control V, Control V, and let's add 1 all the way down here. Okay, and then that's same as players, action button, conditional branch, variable, crystal equals 4, else. I need to light this somehow. Wow. Magic. I lit the fire. All is safe now. Oh my gosh, I cannot spell. Okay. And... cool. Okay. I need to light this somehow. Okay. Let's see, we're running around. Actually, let's turn on auto dash because we would be running around. Okay, got 1. Okay, I'm down 1 sanity. I need to check that so I don't die. How do I get over there? There we go. 2 sanity. Okay, let's go back into the safe house. Ooh, that was close. Okay, let's chill in here for a bit and let my sanity come back. Okay, let's go get the last 2. There's 1. And there's 2. Okay, let's run back to the house. And, well, magic, I lit a fire. All is safe now. And there we go, a goal. A way to finish light at the end of the tunnel. Alright, I've thrown kind of a lot into this video. So let me summarize it real fast. Sound design is your biggest asset when working on anything that's supposed to be scary or just any game in general. You want there to be stakes. If it's just being scary to be scary, there is really no reason. You can do that through multiple different ways. I didn't really go over in detail of this, but you could do it like Five Nights at Freddy's, which the stakes is figuring out the lore. That's why you're there. It's why you're playing. It may not be why the character is there and playing, but it's what keeps you entertained and the goal of beating the game and escaping with your paycheck. I haven't finished watching not Fatal Frame, sorry. The YouTuber I was watching talked a lot about Fatal Frame, so that's on my mind. Silent Hill, I haven't finished that, so I can't tell you the goal of that one. I'm really looking forward to finding that one out. And it's been so long since I've watched Fatal Frame playthrough. Oh my gosh, I am blanking on any and all horror games. Eve. There we go. Stick in the RPG Maker. Eve, the goal is to escape the art gallery with your friends and find your mom. And so that's why you're continuing going deeper and deeper through this world of paintings, trying to find an escape. Same with Witch's House, you're trying to escape. And with some spoilers, big spoilers, you're trying to escape in someone else's body. I'm trying to think of any other RPG horror games that I played, and I've played others. They're not entering my brain currently, but I played them. But yeah. So, stakes, sound design, atmosphere. Though it would be interesting to see someone attempt to create a horror game that takes place in a field of flowers. It's much easier to make it dark and spooky. Or have it... You either need to go dark or spooky or have something unsettling occurring. Like, you know, a scarecrow that follows behind you, and every time you turn around, it's a little bit closer. Ugh, I swear, Weeping Angels is the scariest game, video, movie mechanic out of anything ever, and I will stand by that until the day I die. That's also traumatized me from the stupid freaking Doctor Who episode as a child. Anyways, stakes, atmosphere, a goal, and light at the end of the tunnel. You have to be able to beat it, and there has to be an ending. I was going to say there has to be a happy ending, but I don't necessarily think there has to be a happy ending. There just has to be a conclusion. Things have to wrap up for your character. The horror could still exist. It could persist, be out there, still be a threat, but something for the character has to wrap up. For instance, after the magic, little fireplace, they get to go home. Stuff. But yeah, okay. I'll stop rambling. This video has already been long enough. I hope you enjoyed. This has been kind of a different style of video. I actually wrote a script for this one, which is probably really surprising because I've been rambling a lot. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this and you have any questions, likes, comments, ideas for any future videos, please leave it down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!